and gentlemen, welcome to Naijaelect, the Emancipation. My name is Jack Tamno Eminamo, the moderator of today's show. With me here, I have the guest speaker, Mr.
Aliso Kelly.
And also, the host of today's show is Mr.
Michael.
Alright, Mr. Kelly, please, can you enlighten the common man what emancipation means?
The first thing that came to my mind when I heard the word emancipation was the Bob Marley song, Redemption Song. And it says, one of those lines, it says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. So emancipation is simply the process of being set free from legal, social, and political restrictions. So it basically goes beyond just physical restrictions. It's about the freedom of being able to think for yourself, being able to speak your mind, speak your truth. So that's like the layman understanding of what emancipation is. Freedom, liberation.
Thank you very much. So the topic for tonight is Nigerian democracy and about the 2023 election. Mr. Michael, I would love to ask you, who do you think are the people responsible for defending our democracy in Nigeria?
Thank you for the question. I think democracy, as the definition goes, is simply government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So by that definition, every citizen in a democratic system has a role to play in protecting, defending democracy. Now, that's from a general point of view. If you come to the governmental aspects of defending democracy, there is a belief and there is a saying that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, which means after every issue, after all said and done, all matters regarding democracy ends up in the judiciary. Therefore, the executive has a role to play. The legislatures, they have a role to play. But in all this, when the judiciary, when the legislature fails, or the executive arm fails, the final stop is the judiciary, which is the Supreme Court. So I believe if we are going to defend our democracy at the last point, it has to be the judiciary. So in every system, in every country, the judiciary has a major role to play to keep the democracy or destroy the democracy. Thank
you. Mr. Kelly, please can you also give us your own opinion on what or who you think is responsible for defending our democracy in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you. So there are two major words you mentioned. Talk about democracy, I'll talk about governance. We're going to explain what democracy is. It's a system of government that promotes transparency and rule of law. So basically, we run a system whereby the citizen has a voice and you vote for decision-making process. So the power of the people and the power of governance is the foundation for an emancipated society. So there's one key word that always comes to mind, the phrase that says, we are the government. So it means that the people have the power and the authority to choose who governs them. So it means that democracy is, the spotlight of democracy is always on the people. People have they are obviously the kingmakers, they make kings, they make governors, senators. So I think they should be responsible for democracy because they play a major role. And like I said, we at the government, people in judiciary, in executive or legislation, they are all part of us. We are citizens of the country. We are not aliens. Governance is not an isolated part of society. We are part and parcel of society. So like I said, we are the government. So we are responsible for defending democracy and governance in our society.
Okay, all right. Since you said we are responsible for democracy and governance, let's talk about electoral reform, the electoral reform. Electoral reform highlights the need for continuous improvement in the electoral process, including transparent and credible elections, voters' education, campaign financing, and political parties. In your own opinion, what are the main challenges or shortcomings of the existing electoral process that needs to be addressed in Nigeria?
Okay, I think one of the major factors that is missing is the word independence. I believe our electoral body is not yet independent because if you look at it, the body is being is held responsible by the executive. So they say appoint who is the index chairman and all that. So for us to have the true electoral reform, I believe that INEC should be independent so that they can be free enough to make some drastic changes in the electoral body. Because right, it stands now, I think they have a lot of stakes, or let's say a lot of influence from the executive and some other arms of government. So for this to work, I think the key word is independent. INEC needs to be independent. We need to be able to decide or choose who should lead INEC and not the executive. When that happens, I think they will have that strong hold to make decisions for themselves. But it stands now, I think they are still being influenced by other arms of government.
Mr. Michael, what do you have to say concerning that?
I quite agree with what you said, Mr. Kelly. You know, the INEC is supposed to be an independent body, but we're in a society where independence is not really inexperienced. You need to understand that if we want the system to work, then we need the best people in position, not people that are going to represent us or people we are going to support because they are from our tribe or because they are from our, we share the same religious value. We need to elect people. If you go around the world, you see places like Dubai, you know, these are people that they have their religion that they believe in, but things still work there. And we are in a religious society where we have Christians, Muslims, different religions in Nigeria. But at the end of the day, when it comes to election, you see people voting based on tribe or based on religion. You see the party tickets being considered, oh, this person is a Northern, oh, is a Christian. We cannot have two Christian leaders. Things like that need to change. We need to come to a point where we emancipate our minds. We emancipate our thinking to now begin to reflect Nigeria as opposed to Yoruba, Igbo, and West. The moment we are able to get that, we begin to see that it will be difficult for politicians to influence people to vote negatively or to vote for the wrong person, if I may say. So I think it's very important for one of the greatest issues we're having in voter apathy is that people are not educated enough. So people that are not educated, they tell them anything, they brainwash them, and you see them go out and do things that are, against the good of the people and the good of the land. So I think we really need to educate people and sensitize people to have a better understanding why they are voting, and I think it will help reduce voter apathy and voter fraud.
How would you address the concern for electoral fraud and ensure integrity of the electoral system?
Thank you. Like my brother said, to have INEC credible, one of the important things we need to do is to make sure they are truly independent. Once INEC is not independent, we begin to have challenges. We begin to have doubts. So for us to have an electoral system that there will not be voter fraud, there will not be voter apathy, INEC has a lot of work to do. And INEC cannot do this alone. INEC needs the help of civil society that will go out there to do the sensitization, that will go out there and get evidence of people that are trying to maybe buy votes or threatening people from voting. And when this evidence are brought to the judiciary or brought out something has to be done. A lot of times you see people break the law, you see people on camera buying votes, you see people threatening other people from voting, and at the end of the day, even with all the evidence, the judiciary is helpless. They don't persecute. Sometimes when you see them persecuting, it might be the opposition that they want to use as a scapegoat. But when maybe the ruling party is doing the same thing, nothing is being done. So I think we need to be fair. We need to be just. And that's one of the foundations of our country. Equity, justice, and fair play. The moment we don't have that in our system, that's when you see electoral fraud, voter apathy. So I think it's important that people are brought to book. People must be held accountable for causing chaos during an election. For the reason why some persons don't come out to vote during an election is simply because their parents will tell them, please don't go away, they don't kill you. This one, these people are. So you see lots of people that are willing to vote don't come out to vote. So I think we really need to, the government need to address that and let the masses be confident that they can come out and vote and be protected.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kelly, what do you have to say concerning the addressing of the electoral fraud and to ensure integrity in the electoral system?
Okay, thank you. So I think the key words, integrity, and some other words you can mention, and I'm saying around this webinar, talk about transparency, accountability. These are character traits. And systems are always being handled by people. So even if, like this last election, we had technology that was introduced, but even the technology that was introduced still needs to be handled by people. So when people don't have some of these keywords, these key character traits like integrity, accountability, if we don't have that, it's very easy for them to always manipulate the system. So even with the introduction of technology, I think there's still room for improvement in how we can sanitize our people. I think we can do better as a people. As much as we want to bring in the government, we have a lot of role to play. Most of the things we talk about, ballot snatching and all those things, are actually done by common people. It's not the senator that comes to snatch the ballot because it's really the common people that actually does most of these crimes. So I think we need to tell ourselves the truth that we are responsible, that we should hold ourselves accountable for most of these atrocities we commit. And I think that's the only way forward. We can speak all the grammar, but I think most of these things are done by our brothers, people know, by our uncles. So I always say we are the government. So if you want to see change, you have to start from us. If you want to do better, you need to know better. So that's why education is. You need to tell them that it might just be you taking it just snatch the ballot box, but it goes beyond that. It will affect you in the next 4 years. It will affect you in the next 4 years. It will affect your generation. So it's not just about snatching the ballot box to pledge 1,500 or 2,000. It has a long-term effect. So we need to understand this, and people need to understand that there is a huge effect of these crimes you're committing. So I think that's my question.
You said something about educating the youths. In Nigeria, most of our youths are not. They are educated, and some persons are not educated because of the inadequate ability for their parents or their guardians to afford schooling for them. What strategy or policy do you believe crucial for effectively employing Nigerian youth, promoting quality education, and creating sustainable employment opportunities in the country?
Okay, I think first of all we need to have a plan. I think as a nation we don't really have a vision statement or a mission statement. We don't know exactly what we want. Some countries have a direction where they're heading to. So they educate their students based on that. For example, China, they focus on unfortunately. So a lot of their students are educated in that area. So as a country, you can ask yourself, what area we want to focus on? What area of education? If you look at curriculum, you have to ask yourself, what is the need for most of these subjects we do? Is it in line with our national goals? Is it in line with the millennial goals? So we need to ask ourselves these important questions. And one of the things I think we should do is empowerment. A lot of times, I think youth are educated, self-educated. We are at that age, so a lot of people can go online on YouTube, Facebook, everybody trying their best to learn something. But I think the government can have an empowerment policy whereby they can take out the best of us and empower them, fund them. In those America, you don't see these tech giants like Facebook and Google and all these tech giants. A lot of times they're empowered by the government, where they give them a fund, a startup fund, for them to start and give them the right structure and framework for them to work. So I think the government can do that in terms of empowering the youth, giving them that platform, giving them the space and freedom to express themselves, to groom themselves. I think that's the only way forward, empowerment.
Does that mean the government is not empowering the youth?
They are doing that, but I think they can still do better. I think we have empower, right?
Yeah.
But it's not empower pays $30,000 or something like that. But I think it's not enough. We need to look at entrepreneurship as a major area. When we look at America, I see a lot of big tech companies that are doing extremely well. And I think just Apple has over $1 trillion in terms of revenue. I'm not sure about the figure. It just showed how much impacts and inputs these private companies get to contribute to national revenue. So I think we can do that, try to empower more in terms of entrepreneurs, business ventures, and I think that can go a long way.
Thank you. Mr. Michael, what do you have to say concerning the empowerment of the youth?
Thank you. Mr. Kelly has said quite key points, which is educating, empowering, creating entrepreneurship skills. But in a system where the people thrive, corruption thrives on ignorance. Let me use it, put it that way. People that are not educated, people that don't know any better, we can't do any better. We need knowledge to be able to do that. And I think if we don't educate and open up their minds and show them the truth, show them their value as a people, they will go on with the mindset that has been given to them by maybe their politicians or their community leaders. I'll give you an example. In Nigeria, we have representatives in the federal legislation. In the state legislation, we also have representatives. We call them House of Assembly members. In the national, I call them National Assembly members and senators and the case. And a lot of these people that are representing us are giving what they call constituency funds, right? Constituency funds are funds you use to develop or do certain projects in your constituency. It's not your personal money. But a lot of the people that are not educated in our community, in our society, they don't know that. And so when you see a senator, a politician come into the community, you see everybody running after them. And they do the dobale. If it's in Yoruba land, they push us. You come to Naijaelect, hey, Chama! They hail you. And then you give them peanuts. And you've collected money on their behalf. That you have claimed that you go and do project A. Some will come and do one public toilet. And the rest of the money, they send their children abroad or do whatever they want to do with it. And the people are ignorant. They are not informed. So I think information and education and emancipation, that's why we call this show the Emancipation. We really want people to know their power. We want people to know their value. We want the people to know that they have a stake in Nigeria and they are not just numbers or statistics to be used by politicians. So for us to be able to empower the youth, the first step is educating them, giving them the right information. So that by the time that senator or that house of rep or that man comes and gives them 200 naira to share, they will reject it. The moment the people begin to reject it, you see that the politicians begin to sit up. The moment they know that, this money, I'll tell you a story before there's a community where, I think it was in one of the Niger Delta states, he was elected into office. And for the first time, when he received his constituency form, he went to his community and called the chiefs. And he told them that this money was given to me from the national. It is for our people. What do we do with it?
That was nice.
So the people were shocked because previously they've never seen such a thing. They didn't even know that there was such money that they were entitled to. So he told them, do we share it among the community or should we do a project with it? And they had a decision and made use of the money. So imagine how many constituencies that people receive money on behalf of their people and nothing is being done. And sometimes these people will go to their House of Rep member or senator to say, my child is sick, please, I need money. Come, get out of here. Please don't disturb me, I want to sleep. These are the issues that we need to deal with. Because the moment these people know that, look, it's not business as usual anymore. You are not going there to represent your family. You are going there to represent the constituency. You begin to see that without even the judiciary holding them accountable, their local people will hold them accountable and they begin to sit up. So I think one of the major keys to empower the youth is to educate them, give them the right information. When they are educated and informed, when you now give them skills and opportunities, you open up industries. Because the money you used to send your kid abroad, you can use it to set up a small factory that maybe can be producing plastic chairs or wooden chairs that will empower youth to be employed, and you can even start exporting it to other states or other countries. There are so many natural resources we have that without the governor, even constituency funds can do little things for community. So I think it's important that we educate and inform the masses.
We educate and inform the masses, like you said. Are we to educate them on electoral processes or educate them on how to cater for themselves and their family?
I think we need to, the information and education is very broad. When you look at the political or the Nigerian sector in a country that it's going through what Nigeria is going through, you cannot just educate them for the electoral reforms only, because they can understand that, okay, I need to vote, and they go and vote for whoever candidate. But after voting for the candidate, what do you know about the candidate's responsibility? That is another aspect of the education. Because after you tell them voting is important, voting is necessary, don't vote because of pride, don't vote, and they now pick a random candidate that they feel this guy has done some good things and they vote for him. They still have to know his responsibility towards them. As a child, you are in a home. The father is the head of the house, right? So the child automatically knows that my school fees is daddy that will pay it. Food is daddy that will provide it. But in Nigeria, you have somebody representing you. You don't know his responsibility towards you. So after educating them to vote, you need to also educate them to know that this man that is representing you, these are his responsibilities for you. So when he doesn't meet that responsibility, you can boldly stand up to him and say, sir, how far?
Okay, thank you very much. On social cohesion and national unity, efforts to foster national unity promotes inter-ethnic and inter-religious harmony. How can democracy thrive in a multi-ethnic nation like Nigeria?
That's a good question. And I'll just I know we've not gotten to the level of some developed countries, but I'll use America as an example because I lived there, I schooled there for a while. And America, it's the best example of democracy in the world, right? In America, you have people from all cultures. It's a melting pot. You have Nigerians that have naturalized. You have Native Americans. You have Arabs that have come there to become Americans. So you have Islam, you have Christian, you have Hindu, you have Buddhist, you have everything in America. But democracy works. Why? Because they don't look at their tribes or their ethnicity or their religion. They look at America. For us to thrive in Nigeria, in a multi-ethnic environment, we have to, number one, see Nigeria as number one, not Igbo, not Yoruba, not Hausa. Number two, we have to look at our religion and say, I'm a Christian. Doesn't mean that what a Christian man does is always right. If a Christian is doing wrong, I shouldn't stand and say, because it's my Christian brother, I'll stand with him. I will speak the truth to power. So in Nigeria, we need to focus on understanding that our national unity comes before our tribe and our religion. And that has been one of the core goals of Naijaelect, to reduce and kill that spirit of ethnicity and religious bigotry. If you look at our program during the election, we never campaigned for any candidate. We never campaigned for any political party because we are not a political organization. We are not partisan. We are from Nigeria. If you are going to stand for the truth and stand for Nigeria, we will promote you. If you are going to bring down Nigeria by lies and all kinds of corruption, then we will also speak the truth. So I believe that killing that spirit of ethnicity and killing that spirit of, I'm from this religion, Islam and Christian fighting, all those things are nonsense. And it shouldn't be found in our country.
Okay, thank you. Secondly, what do you have to add to what he has said?
Okay, thank you. I think the key word is leadership. And leadership is a combination of intelligence, resourcefulness, wisdom, and a strong personality. The ability for you to galvanize people from different tribes, different groups, different religions. I think we have not really done that properly in our nation. We have not really attained nationhood. We're a country, we have not attained nationhood. We don't know exactly what it means to be in Nigeria. We have no vision statement, we have no mission statement. There is no strong holding that makes you look and say, this guy is in Nigeria, this guy talks like a Nigerian, there are reasons for things as in Nigeria. We don't have that strong holding. We just have isolated different ethnic groups. Nigeria has over 250 ethnic groups, and they all have their own opinions, and most of them are accepted. So we need a leader that will be able to galvanize all of us to have one voice, one spirit. So when I say I'm in Nigeria, I'm not saying I'm from the southern part of Nigeria. I'm in Nigeria, anywhere I go to. There is no restrictions. Talk about emancipation. Emancipation says there is no restrictions to any legal or social, any framework. I am me. I'm in Nigeria. So the Igbo man needs to see I'm in Nigeria. The Joe man needs to see it and feel that it's in Nigeria. So there is no isolation. There is no one that feels I'm more Nigerian than the other person. We are one. We have one voice. We are united. We have the same agenda as people. And I think that's the way forward. So leadership is what can make this work. We have different countries that have that figure that galvanize their country. Talk about South Africa, talk about Mandela, talk about America, we have Abraham Lincoln. So every country has that figure that was able to galvanize to become one, to have one voice, to say one thing, and everybody say, yes, this is what we stand for, this is what we believe in, these are our characters, these are our belief system. So I think that is what we need to have. We need to attain a nation group. Until then, I think we just have different ethnic groups with different voices. I think that's the one thing.
Okay. Under human rights and civil liberties, the protection and promotion of human rights and civil liberties in Nigeria, what measures or initiatives do you think are necessary to protect and promote the human rights and civil liberties in today's society, and how would you address any existing challenge or violation?
Okay, so I think first of all, we need to understand and know the importance of every citizen. Every life is important. I think we have not really truly valued human life in our country. Some people say on social media that value cows more than humans. And if you look at it drastically, might be true. I think we have not truly looked at the importance of human life, how it can contribute to national development. So I think until that happens, where we value human life, if one American still do this thing, the whole country is ready to devour a full country because of one citizen. Nigeria is 100 people will go missing. Nobody cares. Recently, we are seeing a lot of things in the north. Where we see killings, 20 persons, 40 persons, and there is nothing. There is no broadcast. There is nothing. Everybody just quiet and normal. And a life was lost. A part of us was lost. Like they are a human body, and if you have an injury in your finger, it affects you. No matter how small it is, there is an effect on your body just because of that little thing. So that's the same thing when we are a country, a nation. If one citizen is affected, we should all feel the pain. We should come out as this is wrong. This cannot happen where we are. I think until that awareness of the importance of a Nigerian, just one Nigerian, is important. Until then, I think we can abuse, do all that, and nothing will happen. So I think that awareness is key for us to move forward when it comes to human rights.
Thank you very much. Mr. Michael, what do you have to say?
I think Kelly has said that value human life. We don't value human life in Nigeria. There are so many things happening in the country where, in fact, it's almost like a norm. You know, when you hear people die, car accident, because of, if you value human rights or if you value human life, road safety, there will not be potholes in Nigeria. If you value human life, the hospitals will be functioning. You don't have to travel to America for medical checkup. We don't value human life, and that is just the bottom line. And until you do that, we keep losing our citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly, and thank you, Mr. Michael. We really appreciate having you on today's show. And for our host.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you for taking out the time to watch the first episode of the Emancipation. Kindly drop your comments and questions in the comments section. And do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. Our website is www.naijaelect.org. Our social media handles are at Naijaelect. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. See you on the next episode.